I agree. I definitely think that we've hit a rock in the sand. Um, where yeah, I think you're on the money here. Where you said the revolution will be televised. I'm gonna second that. I'm gonna say the revolution will also not be televised because I definitely think, and I'm gonna segue here into our next topic, how that saying was essentially a reference into us, right? And our ability, specifically talking to minority communities here, but also Americans, because at the end of the day, we're all Americans. But the revolution will not be televised was in, I believe it was
Gil Scott.
Jill Scott,
Gil Scott Heron. Yeah.
who essentially was like the revolution will not be televised because that change is supposed to happen within ourselves first. Like, what are you taking that self accountability and saying, hey, what do I need to change to be able to make the difference that is bigger than me, right? Because whether you think so or not, we're living in untrying times. It's the difference that needs to be made is bigger than everyone.
Right.
It's bigger than any single individual. Let me put it that way. And to be able to do that, we have to figure out how to communicate, how to do things differently. Right? What are you doing that could use some tweaking? How am I asking the right questions? Am I asking any questions? Am I ignoring the nuance? Right? And so yeah, I guess I'll ask, like, what are your thoughts on the state of the world right now?
I mean, obviously, the state of the world is at history repeats itself, and we're nowhere progressed than we were in the 1950s, 1940s, right? In one sense, we are in the fact that we know that we're not playing these games. Like we're done being complacent, and we've done being complacent for a long time.
That's a
Um,
powerful word.
does and it's going to take a lot more hurt and pain for us to see. Here's one thing that I noticed before I finish my thought. But one thing I noticed is when the whole ICE situation came up, there was a lot of friends, a lot of brothers and sisters that I spoke with, and I didn't blame them for this opinion, but they said this isn't our fight.
I saw that.
This
I
is your
saw that.
people. Like, this is your people's fight.
It- yeah.
And I didn't get mad. I'm like, I understand, because when there's protest, I'm out there, but there are also Hispanics or Latinos that aren't out there. I was out there for every BLM protest that in March that we had. Uh and but I understand that if you're not seeing everybody that you know that is a Hispanic or Latino out there, I can understand why you're like, man, my boy Jose didn't come out here to support me. I get that. And I feel bad because I'm like, man, I wish he would have. And at the same time, when they're telling me, well, this isn't our fight, I'm like, I get that. And but something in me, and I told my friends, I'm like, I have a feeling that this will be your fight.
Yeah. The thing about that, let me see what to cover first. All right, let me just say I'll start with my initial thoughts. Right. My initial thought was the question, like, why am I seeing black folks on the internet? And these aren't just the FBA types, the fulfillment by Amazon types
Hmm.
or the ADOS types. I think these are a wide margin of black folks. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is them. It would make a lot of sense if it was them, the people that wear those labels at like a clan tag.
Hmm.
Um, but I would say for that specifically, a lot of black folks thought that because they voted for Kamala, right, and not for um, Trump, that they felt like they did their job and that wasn't communicated, and that the numbers in terms of what they could have did was what they have been trying to do for years, and they thought that the message was clear and concise, and thought they again, I'm sure there was some lack of nuance in there when it pertains to that just thought process because I I understand that, but I also understand that this approach is very fear based. I understand that no one is going to say, as an American, right? No one is going to say this is not our fight, right? And with that thought process in mind, that you are still American, right? There's a lot of Black Israelites that those are folks that I've noticed that only tend to pop up in politics when something interesting, and they quote unquote don't vote, but they like to stay in American politics. It's ridiculous, and I'll probably dive into that at some point too. But um, I've been trying to piece together personally what's going on in the Black diaspora, like why it's so divided, and I have. To I'm glad you actually did speak on that personally because um, a lot of these just to kind of give you an idea of these types, I should give you some added context here. All
Okay.
right, these first off, FBA is a term that was created um by a person named Tariq Nasheed, right? He's like a black pill dude like Kevin Samuels. And I saw the Tyler Perry video. I'm gonna throw him in there too, right?
Okay.
But he's more of like a Dr. Umar.
Ooh,
Um,
okay,
if
okay.
you've seen him, so he's a little bit
Yeah,
more pandering, right?
yeah.
But he's also like trying to mask himself in blackness and the black identity, right? And doing it way overboard. But um, this is you'll hear I don't have you can go to his channel. He does like debates. He's a narcissist. Guy's name is Tariq Nasheed. And I do like some debates regarding him specifically. Hopefully I can do some on the channel. I think that'd be really interesting at a later point in time. But here it is right here. Actually, hold on, let me stop that. Go here on Windows. Here we go. So this is the founder of FBA. This student she does not. I meant to not doing anything for to obtain reparations.
Is there a concrete plan for foundational Black America?
Okay, so to give you some context before, right? This movement was later trademarked in like 2021, right? And it was trademarked by this is only like FBA. They say they're a lineage, but they communicate as if they're a race, right, or an ethnicity, and that's what they mean generally. But one of their goals is to delineate right now, and for some reason, that just so happens to align with a lot of anti-immigration and MAGA
Mm,
propaganda, right?
yeah.
And if you look into it, you also see that Tariq Nasheed, founder of FBA, and the founder of ADOS, Ascendants of Black Slaves, these are just trademarks, right? These aren't titles. I think a lot of people look at these as like an official title that there's some like
Mm,
massive like infrastructure behind these. That's what a lot of black folks, they look at them as like massive infrastructure programs that are set to like just help delineate Africans from and Afro Latinos from coming into America and claiming to be African American, right? And so that's a lot of these people that wear the clan tag, FBA and ADOS. That's their main goal, is to delineate right now. But ADOS's main goal initially was to seek reparations, right, from slavery. But also they think they're Aboriginal, but also the slaves that were black for the most part, with black and black feature for the most part, came from African slaves, which were, if you're knowledgeable of the Spaniard invasion, they helped blend a lot of dark indigenous and African descendants together.
Oh yeah, my great grandma.
through genocide and through breeding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, they tend to leave off from a point of history around the 1800s, right? So that's that. I think that'll be enough context for now. But
No,
Okay, got it.
not at all.
so he's asking, is there a plan for FBA, right?
Because it's not a group. There's no plan for a group, and we're a lineage. There's no plan. Groups have plans. We don't have a plan. There's no leader. There's no plan. There's no agenda. There's no motive. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just a lineage. We're just acknowledging our lineage. That's it,
Understood.
right?
So people shouldn't expect some type of measurable outcome. Is that what
No,
you're saying?
nothing. Absolutely nothing, because it's not a group. That's why there are different advocacy groups within our lineage who can discuss certain things like that.
But the heartbeat of our is reparation, because a debt is owed, and that's what we stand for, that's what we stand by, and that's going to.
Okay, so you heard the guy. It's not a group. It's a lineage. There's no agenda. There's no nothing. There's no grassroots. There's no foundation. There's no movement on it. There's no reparations in the mix. It's not a group. It's not something that can. It's not an institution, right? But these people believe that the main goal of this is for reparations. And so in their mind, to get reparations, they need to delineate. And to delineate means to get Latinos out of the country. It means to get immigrants out of the country, right? And I don't see how they don't see that is just divide and conquer, right? These are the same people that detest Martin Luther King for integration.